Part III of American Cookery by Amelia Simmons. This recording is in the public domain. Having pointed out the best methods of judging of the qualities of viands, poultry, fish, vegetables, etc., we now present the best approved methods of dressing and cooking them, and to suit all tastes, present the following recipes. To roast beef. The general rules are, to have a brisk hot fire, to hang down rather than to spit, to baste with salt and water, and 1/4 of an hour to every pound of beef, though tender beef will require less, while old tough beef will require more roasting. Pricking with a fork will determine you whether done or not. Rare done is the healthiest and the taste of this age. Roast mutton. If a breast, let it be called; if a leg, stuffed or not. Let be done more gently than beef, and done more. The chine, saddle or leg require more fire and longer time than the breast, etc. Garnish with scraped horse radish, and serve with potatoes, beans, cauliflowers, watercresses or boiled onions, caper sauce, mashed turnip or lettuce. Roast veal. As it is more tender than beef or mutton, and easily scorched, paper it, especially the fat parts, lay it some distance from the fire a while to heat gently, baste it well. A 15 pound piece requires 1 hour and 1/4 roasting. Garnish with green parsley and sliced lemon. Roast lamb. Lay down to a clear good fire that will not want stirring or altering, baste with butter, dust on flour, baste with the drippings, and before you take it up, add more butter and sprinkle on a little salt and parsley shred fine. Send to table with a nice salad, green peas, fresh beans or a cauliflower or asparagus. To stuff a turkey. Grate a whole loaf, 1/4 of a pound butter, 1/4 of a pound salt pork finely chopped, 2 eggs, a little sweet marjoram, summer savory, parsley and sage, pepper and salt, if the pork be not sufficient. Fill the bird and sew up. The same will answer for all wild fowl. Waterfowls require onions. The same ingredients stuff a leg of veal, fresh pork, or a loin of veal. To stuff and roast a turkey or fowl. 1 pound soft wheat bread, 3 ounces beef suet, 3 eggs, a little sweet thyme, sweet marjoram, pepper and salt, and some add a gill of wine. Fill the bird therewith and sew up. Hang down to a steady solid fire, basting frequently with salt and water, and roast until a steam emits from the breast. Put 1/3 of a pound of butter into the gravy, dust flour over the bird, and baste with the gravy. Serve up with boiled onions and cranberry sauce, mangoes, pickles or celery. 2. Others omit the sweet herbs and add parsley done with potatoes. 3. Boil and mash 3 pints potatoes, wet them with butter, add sweet herbs, pepper, salt, fill and roast as above. To stuff and roast a goslin. Boil the innards tender, chop them fine, put double quantity of grated bread, 4 ounces butter, pepper, salt, and sweet herbs if you like. 2 eggs moulded into the stuffing, parboil 4 onions and chop them into the stuffing, add wine and roast the bird. The above is a good stuffing for every kind of waterfowl which requires onion sauce. To smother a fowl in oysters. Fill the bird with dry oysters and sew up, and boil in water just sufficient to cover the bird, salt and season to your taste. When done tender, put into a deep dish and pour over it a pint of stewed oysters, well buttered and peppered. Garnish a turkey with sprigs of parsley or leaves of celery. A fowl is best with a parsley sauce. To stuff a leg of veal. Take 1 pound of veal, 1/2 pound pork, salted, 1 pound grated bread, chop all very fine, with a handful of green parsley, pepper it, add 3 ounces butter and 3 eggs, and sweet herbs if you like them. Cut the leg round like a ham, and stab it full of holes, and fill in all the stuffing. Then salt and pepper the leg and dust on some flour. If baked in an oven, put into a sauce pan with a little water. If potted, lay some skewers at the bottom of the pot, put in a little water and lay the leg on the skewers, with a gentle fire render it tender, frequently adding water. When done, take out the leg, put butter in the pot and brown the leg. The gravy in a separate vessel must be thickened and buttered, and a spoonful of catsup added. To stuff a leg of pork to bake or roast. Corn the leg 48 hours and stuff with sausage meat, and bake in a hot oven 2 hours and a half, or roast. To a la mode a round of beef. To a 14 or 16 pound round of beef, put 1 ounce saltpetre, 48 hours after stuff it with the following: 1½ pound beef, 1 pound salt pork, 2 pound grated bread, chop all fine and rub in a ½ pound butter, salt, pepper and cayenne, summer savory, thyme. Lay it on skewers in a large pot, over 3 pints hot water, which it must occasionally be supplied with, the steam of which in 4 or 5 hours will render the round tender, if over a moderate fire. When tender, take away the gravy and thicken with flour and butter, and boil, brown the round with butter and flour, adding catsup and wine to your taste. To a la mode a round. Take fat pork cut in slices or mince, season it with pepper, salt, sweet marjoram and thyme, cloves, mace and nutmeg, make holes in the beef and stuff it the night before cooked. Put some bones across the bottom of the pot to keep from burning. Put in 1 quart claret wine, 1 quart water and 1 onion. Lay the round on the bones. Cover close and stop it round the top with dough. Hang on in the morning, and stew gently 2 hours. Turn it, and stop tight, and stew 2 hours more. When done tender, grate a crust of bread on the top, and brown it before the fire. Scum the gravy, and serve in a butter boat. Serve it with the residue of the gravy in the dish. To dress a turtle. Fill a boiler or kettle with a quantity of water sufficient to scald the calapash and callipee, the fins, etc., and about 9 o'clock hang up your turtle by the hind fins. Cut off the head and save the blood. Take a sharp pointed knife and separate the calapash from the callipee, or the back from the belly part, down to the shoulders, so as to come at the entrails, which take out, and clean them, as you would those of any other animal, and throw them into a tub of clean water, taking great care not to break the gall, but to cut it off from the liver and throw it away. Then separate each distinctly, and put the guts into another vessel. Open them with a small pen knife, end to end, wash them clean, and draw them through a woolen cloth, in warm water, to clear away the slime, and then put them in clean cold water, till they are used with the other part of the entrails, which must be cut up small to be mixed in the baking dishes with the meat. This done, separate the back and belly pieces, carefully cutting away the fore fins by the upper joint which scald. Peel off the loose skin and cut them into small pieces, laying them by themselves, either in another vessel or on the table, ready to be seasoned. Then cut off the meat from the belly part, and clean the back from the lungs, kidneys, etc., and that meat cut into pieces as small as a walnut, laying it likewise by itself. After this you are to scald the back and belly pieces, pulling off the shell from the back, and the yellow skin from the belly, when all will be white and clean, and with the kitchen cleaver cut those up likewise into pieces about the bigness or breadth of a card. Put those pieces into clean cold water, wash them and place them in a heap on the table, so that each part may lay by itself. The meat being thus prepared and laid separate for seasoning, mix 2/3 parts of salt, or rather more, and 1/3 part of cayenne pepper, black pepper, and nutmeg and mace pounded fine and mixed all together. The quantity to be proportioned to the size of the turtle, so that in each dish there may be about 3 spoonfuls of seasoning to every 12 pound of meat. Your meat being thus seasoned, get some sweet herbs, such as thyme, savory, etc., let them be dried and rubbed fine, and having provided some deep dishes to bake it in, which should be of the common brown ware, put in the coarsest part of the meat, put a 1/4 pound of butter at the bottom of each dish, and then put some of each of the several parcels of meat, so that the dishes may be all alike and have equal portions of the different parts of the turtle, and between each laying of meat, strew a little of the mixture of sweet herbs, fill your dishes within 1 1/2 or 2 inches of the top. Boil the blood of the turtle and put into it, then lay on force meat balls made of veal, highly seasoned with the same seasoning as the turtle, put in each dish a gill of Madeira wine, and as much water as it will conveniently hold, then break over it 5 or 6 eggs to keep the meat from scorching at the top, and over that shake a handful of shred parsley, to make it look green. When done, put your dishes into an oven made hot enough to bake bread, and in an hour and half or 2 hours, according to the size of the dishes, it will be sufficiently done. To dress a calf's head, turtle fashion. The head and feet being well scalded and cleaned, open the head, taking the brains, wash, pick and cleanse, salt and pepper and parsley them, and put by in a cloth. Boil the head, feet and heartslet 1 1/4 or 1 1/2 hour, sever out the bones, cut the skin and meat in slices, drain the liquor in which boiled, and put by. Clean the pot very clean or it will burn too. Make a layer of the slices, which dust with a composition made of black pepper 1 spoon, of sweet herbs pulverized 2 spoons, sweet marjoram and thyme are most approved, a teaspoon of cayenne, 1 pound butter, then dust with flour, then a layer of slices, with slices of veal and seasoning till completed, cover with the liquor, stew gently 3/4 of an hour. To make the forced meat balls, take 1 1/2 pound veal, 1 pound grated bread, 4 ounces raw salt pork, mince and season with above and work with 3 whites into balls 1 or 1 1/2 inch diameter, roll in flour and fry in very hot butter till brown, then chop the brains fine and stir into the whole mess in the pot, put thereto 1/3 part of the fried balls and a pint wine or less, when all is heated through, take off and serve in tureens, laying the residue of the balls and hard boiled and peeled eggs into a dish, garnish with slices of lemon. A stew pie. Boil a shoulder of veal and cut up, salt, pepper and butter 1/2 pound, and slices of raw salt pork, make a layer of meat and a layer of biscuit, or biscuit dough into a pot, cover close, and stew 1/2 an hour in 3 quarts of water only. A sea pie. 4 pound of flour, 1 1/2 pound of butter rolled into paste, wet with cold water, line the pot therewith, lay in split pigeons, turkey pies, veal, mutton or birds, with slices of pork, salt, pepper and dust on flour, doing thus until your pot is full or your ingredients expended, add 3 pints water, cover tight with paste, and stew moderately 2 1/2 hours. A chicken pie. Pick and clean 6 chickens, without scalding, take out their innards, and wash the birds while whole, then joint the birds, salt and pepper the pieces and inwards. Roll 1 inch thick paste, No. 8, and cover a deep dish, and double at the rim or edge of the dish, put thereto a layer of chickens and a layer of thin slices of butter, till the chickens and 1 1/2 pound butter are expended, which cover with a thick paste, bake 1 1/2 hour. Or if your oven be poor, parboil the chicken with 1/2 pound of butter, and put the pieces with the remaining 1 pound of butter and half the gravy into the paste, and while boiling, thicken the residue of the gravy, and when the pie is drawn, open the crust and add the gravy. Minced pies, a foot pie. Scald neat's feet, and clean well, grass fed are best, put them into a large vessel of cold water, which change daily during a week, then boil the feet till tender, and take away the bones, when cold, chop fine, to every 4 pound minced meat, add 1 pound of beef suet, and 4 pound apple raw, and a little salt, chop all together very fine, add 1 quart of wine, 2 pound of stoned raisins, 1 ounce of cinnamon, 1 ounce mace, and sweetened to your taste. Make one of paste, No. 3, bake 3/4 of an hour. Weeks after, when you have occasion to use them, carefully raise the top crust, and with a round edged spoon, collect the meat into a bason, which warm with additional wine and spices to the taste of your circle, while the crust is also warmed like a hoe cake, put carefully together and serve up. By this means you can have hot pies through the winter, and enriched singly to your company. Tongue pie. 1 pound neat's tongue, 1 pound apple, 1/3 of a pound of sugar, 1/4 of a pound of butter, 1 pint of wine, 1 pound of raisins or currants, or half of each, half ounce of cinnamon and mace, bake in paste No. 1, in proportion to size. Minced Pie of Beef. 4 pound boiled beef chopped fine and salted, 6 pound of raw apple chopped also, 1 pound beef suet, 1 quart of wine or rich sweet cider, 1 ounce mace and cinnamon, a nutmeg, 2 pounds raisins, bake in paste No. 3, 3/4 of an hour. Observations. All meat pies require a hotter and brisker oven than fruit pies. In good cookeries, all raisins should be stoned. As people differ in their tastes, they may alter to their wishes; and as it is difficult to ascertain with precision the small articles of spicery, every one may relish as they like and suit their taste. Apple Pie. Stew and strain the apples, to every 3 pints grate the peel of a fresh lemon, add cinnamon, mace, rose water and sugar to your taste, and bake in paste No. 3. Every species of fruit, such as peas, plums, raspberries, blackberries, may be only sweetened, without spices, and bake in paste No. 3. Currant Pies. Take green, full grown currants, and 1/3 their quantity of sugar, proceeding as above. A buttered Apple Pie. Pare, quarter, and core tart apples, lay in paste No. 3, cover with the same, bake half an hour, when drawn, gently raise the top crust, add sugar, butter, cinnamon, mace, wine or rose water. Part 3 of American Cookery, by Amelia Simmons.